There's something bigger and something that we have to express in our individual feelings, even through trauma, even though when it's hard, that this is bigger than us. Everybody we meet has had an experience. So we can stop our judgment, put it away, and realize how we can help each other. And so I began to question my own existence, my own journey. Those things took its toll on me as a person. And I had to reunite my own feelings, and I had to really dig deep inside and find out, what is the purpose for all this? There's a purpose for you, and there's a meaning somewhere for you to embrace. You will really feel like you have a fulfilled life when you find that.
Welcome to America Lost and Found. My name is Janelle Rapp. We are taping from Studio 770's own Blueberry Suite studio. And this is a big day for us here because it's our opening day of the podcast studio. It's pretty exciting. Shanti, thanks for making this studio just for me. Just for me, that's it. Only me. The reason that I started America Lost and Found is because my sister disappeared 24 years ago, October 17th. Her name is Gina Boss. She was playing at an open mic night and she walked out, and that's the last she was seen. And all these years, I've learned a lot having a missing sister. I've learned a lot of skills and I've learned how to deal with a lot of things. But the biggest thing that I learned was not to miss out on my own life because she's missing. And so America Lost and Found, though the seed of America Lost and Found was found in my missing sister, the idea of the lesson of when we go through grief, sometimes we just kind of wade in it and we've lost this thing and we get stuck there. And my sister's disappearance taught me that you don't have to be stuck there. You still have your life to live, and this is part of your life. And sometimes that thing that brought you to grief actually is a guiding post. It sends you right or left or in a direction that you never would have gone otherwise. And so we can use the loss in our lives to make our lives better. And so today we are very lucky to have a Wall Street Journal and USA Today best-selling author of 6 books with over 4 decades of experience in both the private and public sector. This man's journey began with a successful 26-year career with the Newport News, Virginia Police Department. Following his local law enforcement service, he served as the director of the Gang Reduction Program for the Office of the Attorney General of Virginia for 4 years. In addition, he served as a school safety and discipline specialist with the Virginia Department of Education for 4 years. He went on to start a successful national consulting company focusing on training and technical assistance for both public and private industry. In 2009, he founded the National Center for Prevention of Community Violence. He has been awarded the FBI Director's Award for the fight against crime in America. Please welcome Bobby Kipper.
Hello, Janelle. How are you?
I'm great, Bobby. Thank you so much for being here today with us. Thank you so much for your heart for humanity. And, as I introduced America Lost and Found, we were talking about how we can use our losses instead of, basically letting our losses use us. And I want to hear your story about how you were able to do that.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. And second of all, thank you for all you do. Turning, tragedy into things that really will help other people is not the easiest thing to do. And it takes a lot of courage. And when we first met and started talking about your journey, a lot of it connected with me. And so I've just really been very happy to connect with you and have you sort of join some of the work that we're doing. But mine started early. I became a police officer when I was 20 years of age. And I did so because I always wanted to to do something that I feel like would not just be the status quo. I mean, something that would just be a little bit different and, helping the community in general. But also, what I learned when I first got into this is that, being a police officer is a people business, and everybody has a story, and you'll hear me say that a number of times, and you've heard me say that before. As a writer and an author now, I've learned that more than ever, as I've come across people across the country that share their story, people like you that share it for the purpose of really making other people better. And that takes a road, it takes a journey. I started seeing tragedy very early when I was a police officer, and I think a lot of people underestimate some of the things that police officers really have to deal with. And it's not like, like tomorrow's Veterans Day, and I want to say thanks to all the veterans for their service. Um, but one of the things I learned a long time ago is you realize that, there's deployment in military service, but there's no end to the war in policing. It is in communities every single day in our country, communities across the country. And I learned that you could never rest. You can never rest from tragedy. A couple situations that really, came to really me question my own spirituality, my own spiritual walk was I got a call one day as a young police officer to go to an apartment complex. And as I got to the apartment complex, there was a baby that was in the lake. Um, there's a baby that girl was babysitting the baby, and the baby apparently kicked the stroller when the girl was not paying attention and ended up face down in the lake. Um, I was in my 20s at the time. I pulled the baby out and tried to do CPR and resuscitate the baby. One of the hardest days of my life is when they put the sheet over that little baby. I really learned then that, I was way over my head emotionally and what I was going to have to deal with. And so working through that back in the late 70s and early 80s was not something that there was no such thing as PTSD. I mean, there was no help and no therapy right away when you went through those type of traumatic experiences. About 10 days after that, I handled a crib death of a baby and had to tell a mother that her 13-month-old baby had died because of SIDS, because of crib death. And twice in about 10 to 15 days in my life, I really realized that this is real life and people are really, really hurting out here. And so I began to question my own existence, my own journey, my own spiritual wellness, which has always been a part of me. I was raised in a very strict Southern Baptist home. And we didn't go to church because we chose to. We go to church because we were made to. But when you see tragedy in life, it makes you question, your well-being, not only emotionally and mentally, but also physically. Those things took its toll on me as a person. And I had to reunite my own feelings, and I had to really dig deep inside and find out what is the purpose for all this. There are a lot of books that's been written. Rick Warren wrote one that called Purpose Driven Life, and there are things that I've learned through the years to really pay attention to that really sort of help pull you out from where you don't want to be and where you really don't need to be for a long period of time to some type of point where you can really start dealing with it. And for police work, that happens on a regular basis for people. And so I wrote a book, and I wrote a book about spiritual wellness called Roll Call, Spiritual Wellness for Today's Law Enforcement Officers. And it's about my journey. It's about how I lost my own faith and my own spirituality. And what I've learned through this concept and through a lot of research and study in spiritual wellness and overcoming trauma through spiritual wellness is that we are not actually human beings having a human experience. We're spiritual beings having a spiritual experience as humans. It's really deep when you think like that, but it's truth. And that's helped me elevate to where I can actually deal with reality. And that set me on the road to make the rest of my career about helping people and really understanding people are different. People have different experiences. And we need to know that everybody we meet has had an experience. So we can stop our judgment, put it away, and realized we needed to go deep down and realize how we can help each other.
Well, and when you wrote your book, was there a specific tool that you learned yourself and were able to articulate in your book that people could use to kind of get themselves out of the hole maybe that life puts them in?
Yeah, there's several things. First of all, I think that we can't ever judge or we can't ever get ready for the experiences we're going to experience. So one of the things that I've learned is to really stay close to your own value system and what you believe in your own character is the inner strength that you have, and express that every day. Make sure that part of the pillar of your existence becomes revisiting those core principles in your life to really build that inner peace that you have. I also learned and was able to share that there's a difference between happiness and joy. And, happiness is something that's, basically temporary. Joy is an internal process that you sort of have to really believe that that's part of your fabric and bring that out. I don't think you can do it by just visiting it from time to time. I think you have to make it a steady, environment. It's almost like eating. I tell people it's sort of like on your daily menu to revisit. As you know, I live in the Outer Banks of North Carolina, at the beach, and we're sort of an island off of North Carolina in the ocean. And every Saturday, I sort of celebrate my own existence by having my own quiet time, and I go to the ocean and I sit in and watch the sunrise. And I post it on Facebook on a regular
I
basis.
know.
And some
It's
people think,
beautiful.
well, you're just posting on Facebook because you're trying to make everybody know how big and how wealthy you are. I live in a 3-bedroom cottage. I mean, and at the beach, and it's not really. I don't do it because I'm wealthy. I do it because I realize when I see the sunrise, I don't control that. I didn't tell it when to come out. I didn't tell it how to express itself, how to shine and light up the world. And in the evening time, if you see a sunset, you had nothing to do with when that set. There's something bigger and something that we have to express in our individual feelings, even through trauma, even though when it's hard, that this is bigger than us. And whenever you feel like that you're bigger than the things you experience, you're going to lose. But when you realize that there's something bigger than that experience and bigger than you in experiencing it, then you're going to be able to resolve it.
I like that. I like that. So, you're an author, you're a speaker, and then you have, some businesses that you've started. They're nonprofits. Can
Yes, I
you
have
can you tell
two
us a little bit
nonprofits.
about that?
Sure. I was for 4 years after a successful local police career. I spent 4 years at the Attorney General's offices in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and they brought me up there because they were looking at the rise of violent crime in the Virginia area, and most of it was through gang trafficking and gang violence. And so I went up there to design a platform on how to look at violent crime in communities. And one of the things we did was we grew the role of community. Remember that everything starts and ends in community. And
Very
community is
true.
a very powerful word, and we don't really grasp that a lot. I mean, we think it's all about, there's this big world out there, but it all lands back in somebody's neighborhood. And so we have to look at making our neighborhoods better. And by doing that, we were able to build community, and community took the streets back. They actually started being advocates against violence in their community. And so we were very successful at that. And somebody came to me right after and said, you need to write a book about the success. We actually reduced violent crime in some of the communities by about 35%, and with some of the work that we were doing. And it wasn't about me, it was about me giving other people the opportunities to shine. And I want to say that that's very important in life. Sometimes we always want to make it about us, but at the end of the day, we have to make it about letting other people's light shine through. And sometimes it's better to take the back seat and watch other people shine, because that's really what life's about. It's really making other people better.
I agree.
I was able to really work that process, and it worked for us. And I did get invited to write a book. It's called No Colors: 100 Ways to Keep Gangs from Taking Away Communities. And that book did very well. It actually became the first bestseller. I never thought I'd write a book. I mean, I was not the greatest student in school. I was actually in a remedial English class for at least one semester of my high school days. But writing a book's not the hardest thing I ever did, but getting people to read it is pretty, there's a
That's
lot
the
of
hard
people that
thing.
have a garage full of books, but people started reading what I was writing, and so that became very humbling to me, but it drove me to continue writing. And I always like coaching other people to write books, because I think if I have the ability to do that and I've done it, then other people can do that as well. Remember, you don't ever write a book, you write the next chapter. And if you write enough of the next chapters, sooner or later you got what? A book.
There you
And
go.
we make things complicated, but I think everyone has a book in them. I know with your story, and you're such a great writer, and of music, and you and I've had this conversation before, that you could probably take a lot of those thoughts and make a bestseller out of it. So
Never know.
you never know. But anyway, I was fortunate enough to be picked up by a publisher, and I'm still writing today. I've written six, and three
That's
of them
amazing.
have been bestsellers. But it's I'm just blessed about it. I mean, because I never thought I would have a career in writing. It's not something I sought out to do. It's something that just I like creative expression. That's why I enjoy music and enjoy, that's why I've said so much. I just like hearing the lyrics. I mean, that fascinates me. I don't think I could write a song, or I can write lyrics, but I can write a book, and it's just a different talent. But it's been a good successful. That led me to start the National Center for the Prevention of Community Violence, a national nonprofit, and we work to prevent violence throughout the United States. And we've grown. Started about 12, 13 years ago. We've grown. Um, and within the last year, I've taken over a new foundation, which you're very familiar with. We're very happy you're part of our team on our foundation board. It's actively caring for people, and it's actually the science of kindness. It's research based, and we really are very excited about this, because it's time for us to turn a page in our society. Um, we have become too adversarial against one another for non-purpose reasons. This is
Agreed.
all going to be okay. And so what we do is, as you know, part of our plan is to advocate, more human rights, and the best in all people. And that's exactly the science of kindness, the power of positive consequences. We're real quick to tell people when they step on the chalk line, but let's promote one another. Can you imagine what a world would be like? And it can't be that hard. So we're really excited about that foundation. There's two nonprofits that I'm the executive director of, and both of them have purpose and meaning. And the people like yourself and other people who join us, wanting to join purpose and meaning. And I just want to say that for everybody listening, there's a purpose for you, and there's a meaning somewhere for you to embrace. And you will really feel like you have a fulfilled life when you find that. And I would just challenge everyone to search within that to see what it is. We all can do something to make it better.
I love that word purpose, and I love that you ended with that. Purpose to me means everything. I honestly, when I was a kid, I thought that it was some big thing, some pie in the sky purpose that, I had to know what that was. And I thought I knew what it was. But now that so many years have passed, I realize my purpose is in every moment. It's in every moment that passes, that if I'm awake and aware and paying attention, my purpose is being fulfilled, because I'm here, I'm breathing. And when I'm not paying attention, I'm not on purpose. I'm all thinking, when I'm in my head thinking about me and this and that, I am not on purpose. But when I am, like you said, when I'm thinking about other people, promoting other people, making sure that other people shine, then I'm on purpose. And what I love about your life and your story is that you started out as a law enforcement officer. You started out helping people, and that thread has gone through your entire life. You are still, everything you do is about helping people and making a difference. And I appreciate that. And I'm so glad that you could be on here and tell us your story and encourage others to take whatever life gives them and make something good out of it.
Well, thank you. And I really want to say how honored I am to have the opportunity to share that message, because I think all of us have that message. We have just got to find it. And, the book that I wrote called Performance Driven Thinking, we were put in this world to perform. I mean, our performance starts when we're born and it doesn't end until we're not here anymore. So I would challenge people to think, what is the performance of your life that's going to have an impact? Because you have an impact every day you get up. Is the impact making a difference for others, or is it only about you? And so we have to look in the mirror in the morning and say, if we're going to do anything in this life to make a difference, it can't be about us. It's got to be about others. And I really think that that's a calling, but it's a challenge that we all have. It's just a question of when we really find it out. And once you find it out, your life is going to be so.
I love that. Thank you so much, Bobby. We froze for a second there, but thank you so much, Bobby. I appreciate you being here today, Bobby Kipper. And we will put your website up there. But if you want to say what your website, you have two of them.
I do. You can go to Bobby Kipper at Solve Violence, SOLVE, solveviolence.com, or the Actively Caring for People Foundation. And we invite people to join our movement, as you know, and that is AC, the number 4, P, the letter P.org, AC4P.org. And that will be our website, and you'll figure out how to join. And we invite everybody to come along, and we're looking forward to making all organizations that we can actively caring once and for all.
Well, thank you for actively caring your entire life. And we actively care about you, viewers that are out there, and we hope that this has helped you in some way. Thank you so much, Bobby Kipper, and goodbye from America Lost and Found.